Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 275 of Optimal Living Advice, the podcast on which we take your questions about life, love, whatever you're struggling with, and offer professional support as best we can. I'm Greg Audino, your host. So happy to have you back once again. And today, the question we'll be taking a gander at involves a new relationship and what to make of it when one partner doesn't always stick to what they say they're going to do. How big of a problem is it? Well, we'll see. Let's jump right in and start optimizing your life. I've been seeing someone steady for almost 4 months now. Things seem to be going well and we have a good time, but I can't totally get a read on him. I don't doubt that he has honest intentions, but I can't get the old saying, actions speak louder than words, out of my head. He's streaky like that. His words and his actions don't always line up, but then sometimes he goes above and beyond. I believe that follow-through is one of the most important things, and it makes me nervous that I don't always see it from him. But I get hooked right back in when he does something amazing and really comes through. Is this something I should be concerned about? Ever vigilant. Very good. Thanks for sending this question in, Asker. Let's think about this. So the actions speak louder than words adage it's widely recognized as a good measuring stick for one's character, one's ability to commit, and is of course put to use in romantic relationships. I don't think I have any qualms with that, but we can't let the popularity of this phrase run so rampant that we don't question it, right? And unfortunately, that's what always ends up happening anyway. We can use actions speak louder than words as a light to guide us, but we can't live and die by it. So consider this. If your boyfriend says he's going to take you out to dinner tomorrow night, but then a major family emergency occurs beforehand, would you still expect him to take you out? No, of course not. That would be an extenuating circumstance. But if your boyfriend says he's going to marry you tomorrow and a wedding is planned, the wedding has enough weight that it will more than likely happen, depending on the emergency. So these examples, they might seem unfairly extreme, but even still, as long as they remain true, we have to respect the fact that there is a gradient here. The significance of the commitment and the significance of other life events are always at odds, and there are lines at which it becomes reasonable for us to break promises. And mind you, the significance of a commitment is not only based on what's planned, but also the strength of the relationship that we have with anybody else that's involved in that commitment. So this isn't to say that just because you two are only 4 months old, that he's allowed to get away with canceling on things that he promises to you, but we do need to be realistic about the types of things and the types of promises instead of painting it with one broad stroke of, if you don't do everything you say you're going to do, then we have a problem. So for me, I think it'll be really helpful for you to assess each individual scenario that he doesn't follow through on, as well as the ones in which he really does come through and surprises you, when he goes above and beyond, like you said. So first, let's think about this. Does he act on things that he knows you care about? Now, sure, this is still new, but as long as you're expressing yourself, I'm sure that for a lot of the talking that he does, he can get a sense of how much it means to you. So if you can fairly say that he has an idea of how much something means to you, is he keeping or going back on those promises? This could prompt a discussion about whether or not he's considering your feelings, and, thrown into the mix should be the types of things he seems to go the extra mile for. How about those? Do they seem more for you or more for him? And in case you're wondering about his ability to gauge whether or not you care about something, a great means of helping him do that is letting him know what sacrifices you're making in order to uphold the plan that he's making. For example, if he suggests a movie night for Friday and you agree to it without wanting to seem too eager, that's okay. You don't have to pour your heart out, but it might help if you mention to him that you had other plans that you're willing to cancel so as to make this movie night happen. So taking this approach can be really helpful for people, who are maybe more shy and and have trouble letting others know clearly how they're feeling. Now, second, does he cancel on things that are firm commitments or just spoken about passively? And him knowing the difference will also depend a bit on how clear you are about the seriousness of plans that are made, but he should be able to pick up on this to a point. And it's important to be honest about how true these plans are. When we look into this, we might find opportunities to consider how sarcastic he is, how comfortable he is with the confrontational aspect of disagreeing with you about certain plans, and also how he feels about the speed at which the relationship is moving. And that's a big one. Now, obviously, communicating in the early stages of a relationship about how you're both feeling and the direction that things are going, that can be very difficult. And because of that, many quote-unquote plans get lost in the fray. We fantasize and we talk about things that are fun to dream about, but realistically probably better suited for down the road when the relationship is more established. And amidst all the excitement, one partner may actually be expecting such an idea to be executed, while the other is under the impression that the conversation is just kind of fun and flirty. So all the more reason to turn your attention more towards how to have an honest dialogue and not wait until it somehow feels more comfortable to sharpen that skill. To me, it's never too soon. It doesn't mean you have to divulge your darkest secrets right away, but to practice being open about expectations and desires is almost never unhelpful. So take this episode and consider what we talked about. Consider the types of commitments he acts on and the ones he doesn't. Consider how seriously they're talked about, and thus whether or not they're really commitments at all, and how they can reasonably be prioritized against other commitments in either of your lives when the relationship is so young. But before all this hypothesizing, should probably be a honing of your ability to have an honest, vulnerable discussion and not rely so much on the guessing game. And thank you once again to the asker for submitting this one. I really hope you're leaving with some newfound confidence and a healthily analytical approach to how well your beau is actually able to do what he says and say what he means. Wishing you all the luck in the world, of course, and reminding you that you are welcome to follow up if you didn't get what you needed today and still have some more questions. And it should go without saying that you're all welcome to reach out. Questions are how we keep the show going. So email them on into me. The email address is advice@oldpodcast.com. advice@oldpodcast.com. Send them there, and I look forward to hearing from you. But it is that sad time, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. We have to end another one in the books, but 276 is right around the corner. So be sure to come on back for that, where your optimal life awaits.